What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about some unpopular opinions about the UK. So today, I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what is your unpopular UK opinion? So today, I just thought it would be really interesting to hear from people who live in the UK who are brave enough to have their unpopular opinion about the UK on the internet for all of us to see and judge. And as an American, I don't get to really hear these kinds of conversations. So I'm quite excited for this. So let's start off with I neither love nor hate Marmite. I'm indifferent. Oh man, is this a crime in the UK? I feel like you can go to jail for this. Not loving Marmite. Is this an unpopular opinion? I actually did a video a while ago where, as an American, I tried Marmite for the very first time, and it is definitely polarizing to me. Is it polarizing in the UK? They say if someone offers it to me, I'll eat it, but I won't go out of my way to have it. I could see this, like, this isn't that crazy to me. But what's it like in the UK? Are most people like, yeah, Marmite is the best. That's the best thing, and you grow up with it, and it's kind of weird, or is it kind of like a split camp in the UK where some people love it, some people hate it, some people don't think one way or the other, or is this an unpopular opinion? This actually seems kind of normal to me. Let's keep going. Unpopular opinion about the UK. Oasis is an incredibly overrated band. Are they? Oasis? I mean, these days, and it's you don't hear about them as much as you used to, I guess is what I'm thinking. I think they're rated pretty well, like appropriately. You know, there is kind of like that meme, like that stigma with Wonderwall. Like Wonderwall is really overplayed, and if someone owns a guitar, they are going to, and they're at a party, they're going to pick up the guitar and be like, "Hey, I know Wonderwall." Burn, burn, burn. And that's the song that people are they're going to play to show off. So maybe everybody just got Wonderwalled out. But as for Oasis in general, it's not like you hear them all the time here in America. Maybe, a while back, years ago, you did hear them all the time when they were at like the heights of their popularity. Have we not gotten over that? I think they're rated appropriately. They're good. And people think they're just like a solid good band, right? Didn't they have like aren't they having some kind of revival like tour or something? Did that happen? Anyway, are they overrated? Maybe in the UK, because they're a UK band, right? Maybe they were like way overhyped there. I remember way back in the day, people were comparing them to the Beatles, and it's like, okay, I don't know about that, right? Uh, okay, does anyone actually drink it? What? Is Oasis is Oasis a drink? What? The band. Yeah, not that. What is the drink? Anyway, now I want to know about this Oasis drink. What's some more unpopular opinions about the UK? Every local bakery poops all over Greg's. You might pay a little bit more, but it's totally worth it. I don't understand why everyone loves Greg's. So Greg's is a UK thing. It's like a bakery. I've learned a little bit about Greg's. I'm aware of Greg's. Most Americans, like, I had never heard of it for most of my life. Most Americans don't know about this thing. Is this another thing? Is it like Oasis? Is it overrated? Are the local bakeries better? I feel like, is this unpopular? So far, some of these unpopular edgy opinions are just going against the popular thing. Like Oasis is overrated, Greg's is overrated, Marmite is overrated. Are these true? Are these unpopular opinions? I mean, these are by definition contrarian, definitely, because these are popular things. So I guess so. I don't know what to think about Greg's. As an American, never had it before. I've heard of it. But I would think a local bakery, like a mom and pop shop that puts love into their business and has to live and die and sweat into your bagels. Ugh. That would always defeat the corporate, like Starbucks breakfast or the Greg's. So this makes sense to me, actually. Our trains are pretty good. Just plan it in advance and you'll be fine. That's an unpopular opinion that the trains are good? Do people think that the trains in the UK are bad? I'm trying to extrapolate here. The unpopular opinion, according to this person, is, you know what? I think our trains are pretty good. Does that mean people think trains in the UK are bad? You have to plan in advance. What are they, like, complicated or not? Like the scheduling difficult, or I've never heard that before. This is interesting hearing about these opinions because it's kind of teaching me things about what people think in the UK about UK stuff like Greg's and trains. I didn't even know people thought that much about this stuff, that they were bad or interesting. Very interesting. Problem with our trains is that they're expensive. They're also terrible if you live in rural areas, such as Mid or West Wales. Oh, I'm totally with you on Greg's, though. Yeah, I can see that. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's keep going. Football is terrible, and football culture is even worse, and has made the country a worse place. Really? Now this is what we come for. Whoa. Because I know football, what us Americans call soccer, football is very, very popular in Europe as a whole and the UK. They're saying that the football culture is bad? I'm not joking. Oh my God. They're doubling down on this. What is the football culture in the UK? The culture. Football isn't bad. I enjoy the game, playing it and watching it. But I don't like football fan culture. Oh, this is interesting. Lots of drunk losers with exaggerated machismo, wearing the same Stone Island jumper, rambling about freeing Tommy Robinson? These are... Okay, I'm going to be honest. We're getting into some British references I don't even understand. That's okay. Is it too, what's the criticism here? It's too rowdy, it's too many drunk people doing those football chants, or a lot of people took exception to this. That means they have struck a nerve that this is indeed an unpopular opinion, that's what we're here to talk about. A lot of people are not happy about this. I'm a football fan. I don't subscribe to the fans above, which are the hardcore football fans. You can pretend they don't exist and that they're a stereotype. Go into any pub in the country and you'll find a dozen of them. I hate that this is the norm. Interesting. Really? There's annoying football fans? Is that the complaint? And it ruins the football culture? Am I understanding this correctly? Is this a real problem, or is this just this guy's problem? Interesting. Feel free to let me know, by the way. If you are living in the UK, you have an opinion about all this stuff, whether it's unpopular or not. So feel free to leave a comment about this. The people of this country are more racist than they'd care to admit. Wow, I mean, this is... We're not shying away in this discussion. My God. This is not really something we hear about in America. I don't know if... I can't say anything about this comment. This is totally... I'm not even going to comment about whether this is true, false, whatever. This is just someone in the UK talking about the UK. You guys can, this is not for me to talk about. But I can talk about the United States since I live here. And this is definitely a criticism. This is literally something that Americans would say. Americans would be like, in America, we are more racist than we admit. That's a criticism you hear about in America. So I've actually never heard this about the UK. Interesting though. Anything else? Huh. All right, we'll leave that. We'll leave that right there. But it is important to talk about those types of issues, of course. So there you go. Sometimes we could do with being less cynical towards people being sincere. What is this? Be less cynical towards people being sincere. Are people in the UK cynical towards sincere people? Why? I like it in a way because we have a good culture of taking the piss, but sometimes we could be a bit more like the Yanks, aka like the Americans. Oh, okay. If somebody shows genuine interest or passion for something, a lot of people in the UK just want to bring them down. It can be too negative sometimes. Interesting. The only thing that comes to mind here is that I have heard in the UK, people in the UK are very realistic, very practical. So that kind of contrasts with in America, we are very naive in a lot of ways, optimistic, maybe too much, to where we think that we can do things even if it's really stupid and like foolish and maybe impossible, but that's our attitude of like, yeah, you can do that, man. Yeah, go for it. Do it. And it's like we don't criticize people for trying crazy stuff, following their weird, impractical dreams. We don't make really criticize people for failing. Whereas in the UK, I think you're a lot more practical and pragmatic, and that leads to like this. It can lead to this attitude where it's like, oh, you're trying to do something kind of out there, kind of crazy, and you want to be very practical and be like, hey, man, I don't. That could really like ruin your life if you take out that loan and start that crazy business, and and then it fails, and you're like, I told you so, and that can be really, really good, but it also can be a negative, which I think is what this person is trying to say. Does that make any sense? Am I just acting crazy here? I feel like that's what they're trying to get at with this comment. If someone shows interest or passion for something, some people will want to bring them down. It can be too negative. Yes, you have to have a balance. Because here in America, like I don't know what the stat is, but 70 or 80 or 90% of small businesses fail in America. So 90% of Americans starting businesses need to chill out and stop. Someone needs to tell them, hey man, you need to think about this business plan, or whatever the passion is. We need to be a little more realistic sometimes. Maybe in the UK, you need to be a little more naive sometimes and foolishly optimistic. I don't know. There's definitely a balance. So that's an interesting discussion. Skeptical is good. Cynical is bad. Right. Oftentimes people don't see the boundary between them. And I have been one of those people. Yeah, it's good to be real with yourself. That's an interest. I like that. That is kind of a difficult, unpopular thing to say. Yeah, I like that. Most people in this country don't realize how good we have it. Ooh. Yes, it could be a lot better. And yes, stuff could be improved on. But the way people go on, you'd think we live in North Korea. I like this unpopular opinion. It is unpopular to say this kind of thing. In America, too. I like this. Don't get me wrong. it's really good to criticize your country. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to try to make it better and acknowledge your faults. But at the same time, it feels like sometimes it goes so far where it's like everyone needs to stop and be like, wait a minute, it's not like we live in a. We are so privileged not to live in a third world country where you have to wake up in like a house made out of cardboard and mud or something, and you don't own a pair of shoes, and you got to walk down and mine salt out of a river for 12 hours a day so that you can buy dinner for your family after earning $3. There's countries that are like that. Um, and it's important to acknowledge that, yeah, certainly in America, certainly in the UK, we have it good. That isn't to say that, you still need to take care to try to better your country and worry about your problems. But there's a big picture you need to be aware of, for sure. That's an interesting one. That's a good. It's not always popular to say that kind of thing because we all do have our problems still. What is this? As this BS about doing so much about mental health is just advertising to make companies and organizations look good. What is this? The NHS is a pile of wank. That's a very British phrasing when it comes to mental health. So let's clap for the NHS and all the newbies suffering from anxiety because COVID. The NHS is not good at mental health? I would not say that the American healthcare system is good at mental health either. This is an interesting opinion. Is this unpopular? I I don't know. Is in the UK, is addressing mental health issues like taboo? Is it more difficult? I don't know. Christmas pudding is vile. Christmas pudding. Pudding is very different in the UK. I need to try to look up a picture of this. Um, okay. Oh, this stuff. What is in this again? In America, we would call this a cake. Is it on fire here? I don't know what's in this, but I'm a little scared. Is this unpopular opinion that it's effing vile? Absolutely. Mince pies too. Okay, now we're just okay. Now we're just taking the piss out on British puddings. I'm sure some of them are very good. As an American, it's all very strange to me, so I can't even wrap my mind around these puddings or the savory puddings. That's very different, but I think that's a good place to stop. This was very interesting. Some touchy sort of topics there as we got deeper into the conversations. Touchy topics, but I kind of like that. I like that. That was kind of the point of this video and this discussion. These are unpopular opinions, and it's difficult to talk about things that are unpopular, and it's difficult to say your unpopular opinion, but I think it's important to hear that kind of stuff. I don't know, some of this stuff also seemed kind of reasonable, like Oasis. Is Oasis overrated? I don't know. Is that is that reasonable? Anyway, I did enjoy hearing this sort of UK culture discussion from people in the UK. That was awesome. Perspective I don't get to see very much. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. If you're in the UK and you have an opinion about these things that we covered today, please feel free to leave your opinion, popular or unpopular. That'd be awesome to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and learning about UK culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.